Welcome to this first week of Lent. Our theme this week is covenant, and the passage that we're dwelling with during the course of the week is from Genesis chapters 8 and 9, and it's the story of how the rainbow is established as the sign of the covenant between God and Noah and all Noah's descendants after the great flood. As our curator of this week's exhibition, Stefania Gervini, points out, the rainbow is a symbol that appears elsewhere in the Bible as well, in the books of Ezekiel and Revelation. And in those cases, it has a more fearsome quality. The rainbow is associated with the divine glory, which, when manifest, threatens to overwhelm the human beings who encounter it. So here we have a symbol that is potentially dangerous, but is nevertheless deployed as a sign of God's protection of the earth. And maybe it's helpful in that context to think of the shape of the bow, which is at the same time the shape of a weapon, a bow which shoots arrows. And there's a wonderful Jewish tradition that celebrates the fact that what is potentially a weapon is pointed in the rainbow away from the earth, thereby safeguarding its peace and its flourishing for generations to come. There's also a lovely parallelism in Hebrew between the word for aiming an arrow and for concentrating one's prayer in an intentional way. And that sense of the intentionality of prayer being perhaps part of the new order of peace and of flourishing that follows the flood is also a thought to hold on to and think about during Lent, how prayer itself can be a part of that new order of peace. Rainbows as the signs of the covenant of God with the earth are often brightest when in the context of storm clouds. Rainbows appear when there's rain, and the intensity of the light and colour of a rainbow is often enhanced when we experience it against the backdrop of dark skies. And that too may be something that Christians can equate with the covenant that they see and understand as having been established by Christ on the cross, that moment at the end of Lent on Good Friday towards which we begin to look during the days that lead up to it. There too, dark skies predominate as a covenant is established. And it's for that reason perhaps that the cross is often associated with a symbol of hope and of light against the darkness which threatens to surround it, but which cannot overcome it. So perhaps as we look at the rainbow in this week's exhibition, we can also anticipate that further covenant, that renewed covenant that is established in Christ on the cross against a new dark sky, but promising a new bright horizon.